Authorities are also reassuring the public that vaccines administered through official health programs remain safe and are a critical part of the disease prevention. Health officials say that investigations are ongoing and more updates will be provided as they work to establish exactly what may have led to this rare and concerning case. Now moving on to a critical solution in central Uganda, where doctors are raising an alarm over life-threatening challenges affecting the country's most vulnerable patients. These are the newborn babies. At Masaka Regional Referral Hospitals, doctors have warned the frequent electricity outrages, putting premature babies in the neonatal unit at serious risk. Health workers said that the survival of these babies depends heavily on the constant access to oxygen and incubators, both of which require a stable power supply. According to Dr. Mary Nyataro, a consultant, a pediatrician, and the deputy director at the hospital, the situation has become more increasingly dire as premature babies require constant oxygen and warmth to survive and both depend entirely on the electricity, she explained, adding to the reported outrages places lives in the immediate danger. The hospital reported receives between 40 and 50 premature babies daily, a number experts describe as alarmingly high and difficult to manage under such unstable conditions. Medical staff are now calling for dedicated and reliable power lines for the referral hospitals to ensure uninterrupted critical care. The situation has also been worsened by the ongoing rainy season, which has brought colder temperatures and more frequent power disruptions, further increasing the vulnerability of the newborns. In addition to the electric challenges, the neonatal unit is also struggling with limited space, inadequate equipment, and shortages of the essential medicine. Nalubega Zuhura, deputy in charge of the neonatal ward, revealed that at times one of the doctors is responsible for more than 30 babies and raising serious concerns about the quality of the care. Hospital administrators are also pointing to gaps in the antenatal care as a contributing factor to the rising number of the premature babies, urging expectant mothers to follow the recommended health guidelines. Health officials are now urging the urgent government intervention to stabilize electricity supply and also strengthen the neonatal care services, warning that without immediate action, more newborn lives can be at risk. Now, moving on to an inspiring mental health initiative in Western Uganda. This is where efforts are underway to break a stigma and also encourage more open conversations around the mental well-being. In Barara, the Okara Mental Health Initiative has officially been launched, and its annual mental health awareness run set place at May 31st, 2026. As we are moving into the Mental Health and Awareness Month, the launch event was held at the CPP Barala Rotary House, where organizers highlighted the urgent need to address the growing mental health challenges, especially among the young people. Speaking at the event, the organization's Chief Executive Officer, Barbara Amtaire, emphasized that the run is aimed at changing public attitudes and encouraging people to speak openly about mental health. She noted that many individuals continue to suffer in silence due to fear of stigma, adding that the initiative is a reminder that no one has to face the mental health challenges alone. This year's theme is turning awareness into action, focusing on moving beyond the conversations and build real support systems for those who are affected. Organizers say that the initiative also seeks to bring mental health discussions into public places and helping to normalize seeking help and building a more supportive and understanding community. Residents, corporate organizations, and also the health advocates have been invited to participate in the run, with registration set at only 30,000 shillings. The event will flag off from the Children's Park at Mbalara Rotary House. Now, as the countdown begins to May 31st, organizers of the event say that every time taken during the run will symbolize a powerful step towards ending stigma and making mental health accessible to all. And now, to our dear viewers, those are our stories for today. Now we are going to move into our expert discussion, but before we head there, let's take a short break and then we come back with more.
Brings a new beginning and a new day. We bring you the news that matters when it matters. From international headlines to the stories shaping our communities at home.
Because with my
Welcome back from that short break, and now in continuation we are moving on to our expert discussion, and today we are going to explore a bold topic and an eye-opening one, which is nutritional imperialism, the global shift from traditional indigenous diets to the highly processed and modern foods. Across many communities, foods that once nourished generations naturally and also locally grown, culturally rooted, and nowadays are being replaced by the fast, convenient, and often ultra-processed options. But at what cost are we gaining convenience and losing our health? We slowly abandoning the diets that once protected us from the diseases. So, it's a bit bold, as I have told you. And to help us unpack this, we are joined by a dietitian, and he's also the founder of Andromeda Innovators College and Andromeda Innovators Forum. So he's going to guide us through the science, the social impact, and the health consequences of this global dietary shift. And this is none other than Mr. Sechanzi William. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
I'm happy.
Okay.
Yes.
How has been your journey coming here?
It has been fair, just it has been hot.
Okay.
The sun
Hot, but
is
it's
too much.
raining.
Sure,
We're in a rainy season. How comes? I think the weather is a bit moderate.
No,
Both
Kampala-
warm and
Kampala
you know.
is equatorial climate, which is
Okay.
hot and wet throughout the year.
okay. So it has been a bit hot.
It is ever hot.
Okay, how we've heard that you are the founder, a dietitian, about this Andromeda Innovators College and also Innovators Forum. Why those schools? What happens in those schools and the companies?
We are looking forward to bring back our nations, actually to bring back the spirit of Pan-Africanism.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, it's about Pan-Africanism at large. Okay, thank you very much, Doctor. So, before we waste any more time, can you please tell us what do we mean by nutritional imperialism?
Nutritional imperialism. Maybe I can say it in a simple way
Okay.
for the people to
understand,
understand in
yeah.
the layman's language.
Okay.
When we say nutritional imperialism, we are referring to a situation
Okay.
where a big power like the Western countries bring up their way of life, the culture, to replace ours. For example, they bring in their own forms of nutrition,
Okay.
which can earn them money to replace ours,
Okay.
so that they can keep on benefiting from us.
Okay, not us even benefiting at all.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what defines an indigenous or traditional diet?
When you're careful today, you will be able to notice that the food we eat is becoming uniform.
Yeah, sure.
Just last week, I was in South Sudan.
Okay.
I found out that the only food available is posho and rice.
Only that, there is no any other.
There are other food, but now this is the common diet on the table. When I was in Zambia last year, I also went to Tanzania, Kenya,
Okay.
Botswana. There it is almost posho.
They don't have any other
They
specific
have
type
other
of food.
foods, but if you enter maybe a restaurant and you ask what is available, the common ones, of course, the most common food in Zambia, they say shima, that is posho.
Shima.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenya, Tanzania, they say ugali, that is
yeah.
posho. So you ask yourself, how comes all of us are now eating only?
The same thing.
So why don't you ask, when did it start that in schools it should be posho?
Only that.
In
Beans.
prisons it should be
Posho.
posho. And any other place of public gatherings. They are just changing slightly to rice, but it is the same.
Same thing still. Okay. So also traditional diet. What really defines that?
Now the traditional diet is that food which we had before, the one which was locally available.
Okay.
For example, you can look at millet. Millet was a common food here in Uganda. And if you go in the northern, you will find millet there.
Still it's there.
We have our local vegetables.
Okay.
If you go in the northern, you will find the slippery green vegetables. They call it malakwangwa. Malakwana.
Okay.
So that food was available.
Yeah.
That was our local
Food.
Even here we had the matoke, we have rumonda and muogo, that is cassava, sweet potatoes, which are now becoming so expensive.
Nowadays.
If you go to a restaurant and you say include sweet potatoes,
that's another
they
price.
put a simple
Small thing.
just for you to see that there is, but in actual sense there is nothing.
Nothing there. Yes.
So we no longer have this local food.
Okay. So, and on that same point, can you also explain to us what are these ultra processed foods and how do they differ from our natural foods?
Now the ultra processed foods, I can take a simple example of the chapati we eat today. You call it chapati. So that one, it was at one time a plant in a garden.
Okay.
And then after a while it was harvested and then processed into the powder. And now the same powder is processed into chapati. You see the processes.
Okay.
So that kind of processing is removing the nutritious part. You know, we have what is referred to as dietary fiber.
Yes.
Most important for our intestines.
And the body.
It is actually like the, how do we call it? The oil, the lubricants in the car. So it works that way in our intestines.
Okay.
But when we process wheat, we remove it. So all of those foods which are processed, we remove the dietary fiber. We only take sugars which are not good for our health.
Okay. So you've talked about what their definitions are and how can a person like differentiate them. So why do you think many people nowadays are shifting from the traditional diets?
It is the narrative we have on these televisions and other media platforms. You know, the people who benefit from the other evil diet, they keep on promoting it.
Okay.
You have the simple example of the juices we normally take. They can say, it is so mango, so apple, and then in actual sense there is nothing like mango. It is just a chemical.
Yeah,
but they promote it and say it is rich in vitamins.
Okay.
Now you ask which type of vitamins when it is not natural.
Okay.
So we are taking chemicals in the form of food. So it is narrated and packed and sold to us, colonizing the mind.
Okay. So is this shift happening globally or in more in developing communities or countries?
It started long ago.
Okay.
Maybe you've not heard of this, but there was a man, he was called Norman Balaga in 1940s, 30s there. After we came out of the First and the Second World War.
Okay.
And there was famine all over the countries. And the countries had gone into the Cold War program, the problems of Cold War.
Okay.
So now there was something coming up as the struggle for power between the communists and then the capitalists. That is the West and versus Soviet Union, the Cold Russia today, and China.
Okay.
So there was a pooling. And this man, Norman Balagas, had come up with a new variety of wheat that could breed and provide much food in a short time to overcome hunger. And now these people said, the capitalists, that there is no way a person can be pro-communist when they are on full belly. So if we provide the food, nations will come to our side. Okay. So that is the Green Revolution, if you go and research about it.
Yes.
And secondly, there was also the Maize Revolution that was around 1960s after the American-Vietnamese War. Okay. So they had too much of maize, a surplus. And there was nowhere to take this maize. So they said we should supply it to poor countries in Latin America and Africa. Yes. Even up to today, everyone is aware America is #1 in producing corn, maize. Okay. But they don't eat it. They produce for animals. And they also sell to Africa. To Africa for and for us, we eat as food. God. So you may wonder why our children from boarding schools, most of them tend to develop ulcers.
Because of the diet they take.
Yeah, diet.
Okay. So how has globalization, as you have said, influenced what we eat today?
We have the big farmers, the big companies taking over everything. Yes. Now, when this program of Norman Balaga came out, he came up with the program that we should be able to grow wheat. Okay. And then these guys, the Rockefellers, took it over. So when they took it over, they got advantage of producing and sell food to the poor.
Yes.
Now, when you're to grow like maize, wheat, rice, you have a problem of watering and using fertilizers, which are so expensive. So in doing so, you're chasing out the poor from the agricultural activities.
Okay,
that is why today agriculture is for rich people.
Of course, if you have a big land and you've planted a lot,
and you can do mechanization, you can afford irrigation, you can afford fertilizers. So that is why the poor are now running out of the village into the towns. They cannot afford.
Yeah.
And the government is, are you going to farm? Yet we cannot. We keep running to towns.
Of course.
So, it is global.
Okay. So are we losing as a country, because you've seen that we have globalization has influenced a lot in our cultures. So are we losing culture identity through our diets?
Of course, culture is already lost, because when we say culture, it is a way of life. So if our food is matoke and we say a grown Muganda woman should be able to prepare the matoke very well.
Yes.
And now the food is rice and the posho. Isn't that culture already wasted? Oh,
of course, yes.
So we are losing culture. Yeah, and genetic diversity.
Yeah. Also, we say that many people nowadays see taking traditional foods as something backward. So why do you think, what's your take on that? People perceiving traditional food as being backward.
Yeah, that is true. When you go modern and you pick up the narratives of those guys, you know, when they are promoting something, it is a war.
Yes.
You have to suppress the other in order to bring yours on board. They will tell you that eating fats is very bad. They are causing us diseases. Isn't it what they say?
That's what they say.
So the people in the north will avoid their sunflower. They have shea butter, coconut. Those oils are very good, and actually it is their food which is causing us cholesterol. And they are lying you that it is your fats, and they are telling you
have it, yes.
Avoid red meat. So that is the narrative.
They are pushing.
But if we go into the detailed science to understand, we can see how the fats get into the body. Can we take it for 2-3 minutes?
Yeah, it's okay.
So you see, in a situation where we take an example of eating rice, which we commonly take.
Yes.
The processed foods after rice, chapati, etc. All of those so-called carbohydrates, once you eat them, your body will digest and break them down into sugars. Okay. The so-called glucose. So in the end, after eating that food, it is only the sugars or glucose which is loaded into your liver. Okay. So you will always have excess of sugars in your body. Yes. And when you have excess, the liver will always find a way to get rid of these excess sugars. Okay. And in doing so, the liver will manufacture a molecule called the LDL, low density lipoproteins. Okay. We normally call them bad cholesterols. Of course. But these ones are not bad. The liver makes them to pack up the excess sugar. Yes. And take it out of the liver. The liver. Yeah. Now, when you have excess sugar, you're instructing your body to manufacture the bad cholesterol. Okay. And this bad cholesterol is not bad, because it is coming to take out the sugars. Yes. Now what happens when it is taking out sugars? This is a sugar molecule, this is the one you call bad cholesterol. Yes. They clamp together and form a plaque. Okay. So when you're moving through the blood, they can stick somewhere on the blood vessel. And then they form a swelling, let me call it a swelling, which keeps on accumulating. Yes. Blocking the flow of blood. And these medical experts will tell you have fats. The problem is fats. Now it is true, it is a fat but combined with the sugar. Sugars, so if you did not have the sugar initially, this fat wouldn't be there. Oh my God, I think this is something our people need to know and understand better. Certainly. And thank you very much, because you've actually explained it to us in details, and I think even our viewers have understood it more. So, Doctor, moving on, is urbanization also playing a role in the shift and changing food habits? Yeah, urbanization is playing a big role, but as we said, people are running away from the villages to the towns due to the shift in the systems of agriculture.
Yes.
Where the land there must be owned by the rich who can carry out this kind of plantation.
Okay.
And it is not that much in Africa, but if you go in those countries outside,
Okay.
agriculture is now abandoned only for the rich. So we should now run into the towns and keep on depending on what they sell to us. We don't know if we are eating poison or right foods.
Okay.
Now you don't know what you eat, where it comes from.
Of course.
We just eat.
We just take
But we are taking cancers.
in our bodies.
I know you've heard of Agent Orange that was used in the Vietnamese War, which is now used as the same components used to manufacture fertilizers today. And we just eat because we don't know.
We don't know, of course. So is it fair to say that the global food industries are influencing people to abandon healthier traditional diets?
Exactly.
Okay. Also, are ultra-processed foods contributing to the rise in the diseases like obesity and the diabetes?
Now that one we've almost said it
about
when you have excess sugars. By that one we can go into the depth. You see, when you have the excess of sugars, like we said, the body also manufactures another molecule. We call it insulin hormone.
Yes.
So whenever you have a surge, a spike in blood sugar, there is also a spike in insulin hormone. Now, because you tend to eat excess of carbohydrates, the spike is continuous. So the insulin is also spiking.
Okay.
Eventually, the body becomes used to this high level of insulin. Now, this is what happens if I can break it in 1 minute. So when you have excess insulin, insulin acts as a key which opens your body cells to take in glucose.
Okay.
So when it is there, it opens the cells to take up the excess sugar. But because it is always there constantly, the cells become used that even when it knocks you open up, they can no longer open.
Yes.
So we develop insulin resistance.
Okay.
So you already have excess carbohydrates, but the cells cannot take in that sugar.
Yes.
So you feel hungry even when the food is in the body.
Okay.
That is why you normally feel weak, fatigue.
Yes.
Yeah, most of the people now in that situation, pre-diabetic, they are weak.
They are weak. Okay. So do we think that the convenience has become more important than being healthy in today's society?
Certainly, yes. People don't want to cook. They want which is already provided.
Noodles.
Yeah, chips, chicken.
Chips, chicken. Okay. But chips you prepare, you cook.
You can cook in a better way, but any foods that you put in that heated oil, at the moment you put food in oil and you have spoiled that food.
Yeah, but doctor, it's supposed to produce a hissing sound because those are potatoes being put in oil.
Let me tell you, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, but these oils,
yes,
they normally heat up at around 160, 180, some go up to 200.
Okay.
Now these foods which we eat, all of them contain proteins which are good for our
bodies, yes.
And you know, temperature denatures, destroys
the proteins.
The protein, yeah. So since this oil is already at a very high temperature, it denatures to the point of leaving nothing.
Nothing. So we take nothing, literally.
Yeah, when we fry foods, we are destroying them. Not that oil is bad, by the temperature. Okay.
So is this is this shift like a matter of choice, or it's being driven by the economic and also the marketing focus of the people?
Now, the people who grow rice, they are big companies and they want to market, so they would not be happy if you're promoting your millet.
Of course, they can't be.
It is economic.
Okay. So, thank you very much, Doctor. Okay, also before we leave there, what do you think about the people who are promoting these processed foods? Like, what's your take on those people? Because is it something they should stop doing, or?
Now there is no way we can stop them. They are earning a lot of money
from
you
it.
know the big companies. I'm not supposed to mention
So,
them here.
yes, of course.
But I will give you a simple example of the juices we normally take. You go buy a bottle, it has got a fruit like a mango, maybe like a pineapple or the apple. But if you go in the chemistry of this juice, there is nothing like a mango. It is just
it's
a
just
chemical.
the chemicals that are there.
Actually, they contain 45 substances. There is a chemical in the form of a sugar which is called high corn fructose syrup.
Okay.
That is corn from USA. It is in all of those processed juices.
Okay.
Then they put a sugar, that is a sugar. They put water, they put a preservative, they put the flavor,
Yeah.
they put the color and the stabilizer.
Yes, of
So-
course, that becomes too much.
Now there is no mango, but they promote that this is rich in vitamins.
Okay, so doctor, because we are about to wind up, what are some of the health risks that are associated with these ultra-processed foods?
Obviously, it is the #1 cause of diabetes. And I normally tell people once you adjust your diet, diabetes can disappear in 10 days.
Okay.
But if you don't know this, you will keep on medication for years
for
and you
a
will never
period.
get better.
Okay.
And also cardiovascular diseases, we said in the blood vessels, how the plaques develop there. So we have money, power, the main.
Yes.
So many problems to mention about it.
that are associated with it. Okay. So also, doctor, how does this diet affect the children and also the future generations that are coming? How do you think they are going to affect?
Now you see them in classes today, they no longer
They are
understand.
dull, sleeping.
We cannot go into the science of how the brain works, but we have that addiction, dopamine release, or the reward system.
Yes.
Excessive sugars, they bring about sleeping. So their memory is no longer sharp.
Oh, yeah.
We lose mental or the clarity, memory. The memory goes.
Okay.
So they become stubborn also. Yeah, if you see them becoming stubborn and
That's
unruly.
also an issue for this process.
Yes.
Okay.
Even snoring.
Oh.
Yeah, so many
But
problems
it's like the old people who snore now. Or what do you mean by the children snoring?
No. You know, we cannot
we
go
have
in the
to be more
science of the
specific
brain.
on that.
We cannot go how the brain works because
Okay.
we have limited time.
Okay. Okay. So how do you like compare traditional diets and in terms of the nutrition? In terms of nutrition, the traditional diets.
Now there is a diversity of nutrients. When you eat rice,
Okay.
you're almost eating sugars only. The same to posho. But if you eat these other local foods, let me say the yams, there are so many minerals. Okay, there is also carbohydrates, but you also have the dietary fiber because we take it as whole food.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, doctor, as we are winding up, what's your last take on our topic today? And also in that, maybe you can tell us if people can balance the two, the traditional diets, also the modern.
Now my take is, since now the system has already taken over, we cannot change
You cannot change anything, yes.
We should adjust according to the way we live. Those who are able to prepare their food, don't be too lazy.
Okay.
Take time and prepare what is better for you.
Yeah.
Number 2, we should incorporate vegetables in our foods.
Okay.
When you go to a restaurant, they will put a very small
portion,
amount.
yes.
Now I normally tell them, don't give me that
At
is
all.
Yeah, because
Okay,
they have
you
already
get
wasted destroying the process of cooking, and they're
okay.
giving less.
Yeah.
So the other thing, there are things we can avoid. Should I mention the drinks you should avoid? Those the juices which contain sugars. You can avoid and live without them.
Okay.
They are causing you problems and they add nothing to your life.
Yeah, sure.
We can avoid them.
Okay.
And the refined foods, the highly processed foods.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And as we are winding up, please send greetings to 1 or 2 people who have been watching you today, and then we can call it a day.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I will greet my wife
Okay.
in the very first position. I know she is on.
Oh,
She's
wow.
at
Thank you
Kayonga
for
Referral
tuning in.
Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, I will also send my greetings to all the scholars community.
Okay.
Yeah, as led by the Grand Abbot.
Grand Abbot Zulu,
Yeah.
our man for Sankofa Square.
Sankofa Square.
Okay, our dear viewers, make sure you don't miss Sankofa Square, because it is also one of the shows that takes us back to our traditional roots. Thank you very much, Doctor. And as we are leaving, please give your number to the people who are watching. Maybe if they at all they have a question, they can call in and ask you more questions about it.
All right, I have only 2 numbers. One can be available by call, another one by WhatsApp, or they can all be available. The first one is 0708 960
Okay.
684. That is mainly for WhatsApp. 0708 960 684.
Okay.
Then I also have 0747 75 97 41.
Okay.
It is available for calls and WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Doctor. And to all our dear viewers, thank you for tuning in. We have seen that what we eat is not just about anger, it's actually about our health, culture, and the future of our communities. So let's not lose value of what once nourished us. And thank you for tuning in, and make sure that every bite you take counts. This has been your health show. Let's meet again tomorrow, same time.